Another example we have is this one. Like we saw in the first example, we saw that we create a 0 on the right and we simplify. So this was a question which was said about inequalities. As I told you, we covered inequalities as a topic. The lessons are there in the playlists. So here we have this. We are going to go to see how we know about this one. We have also modulus inequalities, but that's not the case for today. So what we do, we said we create a 0 as the first step, and after creating the 0 on the right, then we simplify. Then one of the very important things to note, we don't use a denominator. Then after that, and then we analyze the critical values. So when I do this, you try this one as your exercise. Okay. So here the first thing is to create a 0 on the right. You see this then where I have. When I take it this side, it's now I've created the 0 on the right. Then after doing this, they tell me to simplify. So to simplify, cross multiply up and down. So this time is this. Bearing now x minus 1, 2x plus 3, then minus this and this. The whole of this is, and now I'm applying this to 4. Less or equal to, and then less than 0. So that's the idea. Now here, don't expand the denominator because these ones we are going to use them to get critical values. All you do, you simplify the upper things here. So when I simplify this and this, I get x squared, and this will be x minus x, which will be now plus 2x, and this minus 3. When I simplify this, I get minus x squared, then this and this, that is, but this is x squared. When we open this is the same as, the whole of this is the same as x squared minus 4x plus 4. The whole of this is giving us this, but remember I have a negative out. So now open back, so I get this, then this negative and this, that's why I'm getting positive 4x, then this negative and this, I'm getting negative 4. The whole over x minus 2, then x plus 3. Don't waste time expanding this 0. So now, you see this one, it's going to vanish with that. So this is 2x, and this will give us 6x. Then minus this and this, we have 7. The whole over x minus 2, then x plus 3 less than 0. So from here, don't be tempted to cross multiply. Why? We say never lose a denominator. So this one we leave it at that. So in most cases, what we do, just simplify the denominator. We leave this like this. So at this step, we get what we call the critical values. So now my critical values. We say to get the critical values, we create the numerator and denominator to 0. So our numerator here is 6x minus 7. If there are 2 brackets up, we also equate those 2 brackets to 0, equaling to 0. So it's that here the x value I'm getting is going to be 1.6 something. Yeah, if you round off, it's like 1.2. Round off, that's what we get. Then we equate this to 0, so x minus 2 equaling 0. Our x value there is 2. Then here, our x is equaling, okay, x plus 3 equaling 0. So our x becomes negative 3. So now, this is how we get the critical values. If you have 2 brackets up, the same idea. So as long as you simplify, if this now was a quadratic equation, like in this example, after creating the 0 and simplifying it up, now we factorize this one here. But here, it was easy. So now, after doing this, now you arrange them from big to small. So the critical values are from big, from small to big. The smallest is this, so I have negative 3, followed by 1.2, then followed by 2. These are our critical values. Now from here, we have now to come to analyze the critical values. So we analyze below the smallest. So we have negative 3, comma, 1.2, then 2. So, analysis. Analyze the critical values. And then this is what we call, most people call it the analysis table. So now, here, you see we have 3 critical values. Critical values means we are going to be having 4 columns of the analysis. So we say, you draw then include our last one. It's going to be this one here. So now here I have the value of x. Then here we get the sign of the expression we used to get the critical values. So this is our expression we used to get these critical values. So we analyze now, we want the sign of this expression based on the values of x we are going to use. So the sign of 6x minus 7 over x minus 2 x plus 3. Then it goes. Now, we say you analyze below the smallest. So this is the smallest. So x below the smallest, which is negative 3. Then between the smallest and the next. So between negative 3 and 1.2. Then between this and this, between 1.2 and 2. Then after we analyze about this. So those are the regions we are having in this case. As simple as that. So now here to simplify life, you draw a number line, a simple number line like this that we are going to use. So you see that the smallest is negative 3, the biggest is 2, this 2. And in between there, in between these 2, you have 1.2. So 1.2 is there. So that is the case. So what are you going to do? This is the expression here I'm going to use. So we have 6x minus 7 over x minus 2 into x plus 3. So you analyze below negative 3, you see below negative 3, we have negative 4, negative 5, negative 6. So you take the closest. So you put here negative 4 because it's below negative 3. Below negative 3 there is negative 4. So below this there is negative 4. When you put here negative 4, we are interested in the signing of this expression here. So you see here, below negative 4, x below negative 3, we have x is equal to 3. So that I have now my 6 into negative 4 minus 7, the whole over. Here I put negative 4, negative 2. Then where there is x, we are putting the value, any value below negative 3. That we put the closest, that's why I'm putting negative 4. Then put here negative 4, then plus 3. So this will give me, I think you see, this will be 24 plus, which will be negative 31 over, this will be negative 6, this will be negative 1. So negative 1 times negative 6, I'll be adding 6. Now, here we have, this is positive. So this is negative 6 times negative 1. Negative, get a positive. Now, the negative divided by a positive, the answer is going to be a negative. So you're interested in the sign D, interested in the sign, interested in the sign. That's why you see this one now is going to be the sign of this is negative. 4x below negative 3, as you've seen there, as we've treated it there. So I use the value of x equal to negative 4. That's what we have. Because it's the value below Then the next, we use a value between negative 3 and 1.2. I think you see between here, you use the simplest. So between negative and 1.2, there is 0. 0 is the easiest value to use because you see 0 is between that. So when x is equal to 0, now I'll be having 6 into 0 minus 7 over 0 minus 2 into 0 plus 3 equaling 2. This will be having negative 7. Then down I have this is negative 2 times negative 3. I mean positive 3 will be negative 6. And you see negative divided by negative, we get a positive. So here I put a positive. As simple as that. So even between negative 1.2 and 2, so here is between these two there is 1.5. You put here 1.5. Now it's the x value you are using. Now you put here 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. Then you determine the sign, not the value. You determine the sign of that value you gave. So here you are going to get negative. Then above 2, you see have 3, have 4. You put here 3. Then you look for the sign. The sign is going to be positive, I'm sure. How do I know? Whenever you have inequalities, these signs are going to alternate. This is negative, this will be positive, this is positive, this will be negative. This works in inequalities, but in curve sketching, please, it's not true that they are going to alternate. So in curve sketching, you check it by value followed by each value. But in inequalities, once this is negative, this is going to be positive, they are going to alternate. This was positive, this will be negative, positive, negative. Okay? So now, so that's how we get the values. The other way is by putting this expression on the calculator, as I'm going to show you. So to put it in the calculator, you come, you open brackets, another bracket, then you put the numerator is 6. To press the x, you press here, then you come here, then minus 7, then you close, you say divide by. Now you open two brackets there. The first is x, alpha x minus 2, then the next is x plus 3. You close the bracket, you close the bracket, you close the bracket again. Then after doing that, you press this button of curl. Now they're asking which value do you want to put. So the value you want is the value, you see this value? I want the value of x below negative 3, which we say we can take negative 4. So if I put here negative 4, then I press equals, I think you see the sign is negative, which is there as in the first. When I come now in the range between negative 3 and 1.2, okay, there let me take, because the other time I used the 0, let me take maybe 1. I press now curl. You see, it's asking me which value. Then I put 1. Then I press equals. You see, it's 0.25. But 0.5, you see, it's positive. That's why we have a positive there. Then let me come to 1.2, between 1.2 and 2. So you press curl. Again, you come and place your curl. Then which value you press 1.5. You can even say 1.3. Then press equals. You see, it's negative. That's negative. That's why I have negative there. Then that one, you can do the same. So after that, getting that, now you come back to the step. So this one is helping us to get the signs here. That's why I'm able to generate those signs. So now I come to the solutions, but I base on this sign was less than 0. Less than 0 means you are interested in negatives. Less than 0, because values which are less than 0 on the number line, less than 0 means that those are negative integers or negative values, negative real numbers. So now, based on this step, we used to get critical values. So that in my table now, I look out for those on the negatives. I'm seeing this, and I'm seeing this. So now, my solution set. Solutions I have now, x less than negative 3, comma. I also have this is negative 1.2 less than x less 2. Now, you see that this one is not having the possibility of equaling 2. So those will be my solutions. And then you just underline it here. As simple as that. But now, if this was less or equal to, now if you have less or equal to, you come where you have critical values from the numerator. Critical values from the numerator. If this was less or equal to 0 at this step here, then values from the numerator, I'm saying this one gave me which critical value 1.2. This one here, then here we put, if this was less or equal to, then this would be 1.2 less than or equal to. But this one, you see it's coming from the denominator, any value, critical value that is coming from the denominator, you don't put a possibility of equaling to. In case, the answer here is here, but I'm putting in case it was less or equal to, less than or equal to. That's how you would know where do you put and where you don't put. So this value here, you see this value, we got from the denominator. So, as you saw, this was from the denominator. I don't put the possibility of equaling 2, but this was from the numerator, then I can put it there. Now, in this case, you see it's less or equal to. So, assuming now here we have that case, that's how you determine those ones. But if it's just less or greater at this step, then you just, from the table, you just put those values based on whenever it's less, it's negative. Whenever it's greater than 0, positives. Now, if this one was greater than 0, then I will have picked this, then this, if it was greater than 0. Greater than 0 means positive numbers. I pick this and this. So that's how we handle that. That's it. I wish you well. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You can change always the quality of the videos by just tapping in the video, then you go and change the quality as you want. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share with friends. I wish you well.